Hey everybody, this is John and welcome to the free video. Let's dive in and take a quick look at a couple of key things in the market. So, big thing right now is yesterday in the markets, there were a lot of one-day nasty reversals like in the Russell, and then today was their kind of, okay, how are they going to react to that? So it did come up, it didn't quite recover 50% of the move. So overall, it's not a strong showing in the Russell, but respectable, okay? And then, you had stocks like Apple that just blew away. Again, Apple had some big announcements today in terms of repatriating hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes, and the Nasdaq up over 1.7%, which really, big stock, biggest stock in the Nasdaq, represents 11% of the Nasdaq, 16% of the tech sector, 5% of the S&P and the Dow respectively. So this helped the entire market. But then there were other stocks like Amazon, they're still feeling the pressure. Other stocks like Alibaba that couldn't quite cut the mustard. Okay, so some of the bigger stocks like that, and a lot of this is going to be more options related, kind of an expiration shenanigans, as well as some of these things have come too far too fast and they need a reversion to the mean. One thing to note today is that even though stocks are up, you can see that the VIX here continues to climb higher, and we did fire a long squeeze in the VIX. Typically, when we see a long squeeze in the VIX, we have been getting spikes up to 14. If we are going to get a spike up to 14, that also opens up the door for a fairly decent decline. My point here in this market is don't be surprised if there is a pullback and position yourself accordingly. You can do different hedges and things like that. And then one thing to keep in mind here too is Bitcoin. So a lot of talk on Bitcoin today. The quote unquote the crash. And Bitcoin is actually holding up pretty well compared to a lot of the other cryptocurrencies. If you watch those, a lot of them down 60, 70%. BitConnect went out of business today, or it's down like 97%. So a lot of people just getting destroyed in these things. But of course, we know that this is very normal for the market. So when you have a huge move up like this, you are going to get a correction. So the question is where does it land? Well, we do have a squeeze that has fired short here, and my theory here, or what I'm looking for, is that if we could come down to, I'll mark it here. So you can see from this low here to this high, we did come down and hit that 618. So that is providing some minor support. However, with the squeeze still in play and with the panic that's hitting the market, I think it's possible that we could even come down and test here. So long story short, when this momentum shifts, I'd be willing to get long. Okay, for example, right here you can see the momentum shifted to the downside. Here it shifted to the upside, and if you started buying here, okay, you did not have to hold through all this, and you caught, that's a 2,000 point move right there. And so I'm planning to do the same thing there. Now I'm talking about Bitcoin, but this could be for anything that's had, kind of a big sell-off like that. If we talk about Alibaba, and you could say almost the same thing, switch to say a 15-minute chart, and you've got the same idea here. So you'll notice that Alibaba was selling off, selling off, selling off, and right here we started to get a momentum switch. Now sometimes this will happen where you get in, it's like, oh, it's not quite there yet. So from there, I always say just have a stop at the lows. It's like fine. And then we get back to yellow here, and it's like, okay, great, we can load up and try it again, and here we actually get the move. So that's the kind of the thing that I'm talking about there. And then two quick positions that we picked up today. I just like how these look on daily charts. We picked up calls on Thor Industries. And we're going out 58 days and looking for the options, looking for a double in the options. And then the other one, CTRL, on this one, we got options 30 days out plus some of the stock with the idea that this thing will also be able to continue a run.